What's up, everybody? Holy shit, it's Friday night. Here we go. Oh, we already have people in the chat room. I love it. Hey, John, Bob, Diane, JD, what's up, guys? Sound off. Let me know what you're drinking tonight because, oh, what? Damn, how'd you do that?
How did you what?
I don't know. Wow, my guest popped on by themselves. I didn't even do that. Wow. You know what? That's it. You brought the ghosts. That's it. All right. So, well, hold on a second. I want to put you back in the background. Wow. That was weird. I don't know what happened there, but I must have hit a button. I don't think I did. Anyway, so I do have a guest tonight. Actually, two guests. My first time having two guests. Is it? No, I think I did have, because I had Dave and Tim on. So it's my second time having two guests. 2 for 2. Anyway, so let's go over the rules. Hi, Maria. How you doing? Tommy, what's up? So let me find my branding here. I'm all screwed up now. All right, here's the rules. So rule number 1 is you are welcome to ask any kind of paranormal related question. And in return, I or the guest will give you our skeptical and or just opinion. You know, we'll tell you what we think of it. That's the way this show goes. Number 2 is that I don't know everything. That should be obvious for return visitors because I screw up a lot and I have to look up stuff. Google is my best friend. So we'll talk about it. We'll have a discussion. If we don't know, we can definitely look it up and try and find an answer. If not, I have a notebook. I have my 3 Tortured Souls notebook, so I can write it down and I'll get back to you. Rule number 3 is listen to Patrick Swayze and be nice. That's it. Until it's time not to be nice. And that's usually not a problem here because we're all nice to each other, right? I think so. Rule number 4 is please, if you have a question, put a Q in front of it or the word question. Most of the time people put Q, and that just helps me cycle through the comments much quicker and get to your questions. And that way we can answer them and everyone's happy. Rule number 5, drink up. That's what we're here for. It's a bar. We drink, we talk about paranormal shit, and we have a good time. So tonight, I am excited. I've listened to these ladies a lot. I've listened to every podcast they put out, and they run a podcast called Spooky Science Sisters, and it's really cool. We have Megan and Paige, and they're in the background. I'm going to bring them in a second. They have a science background. They both are scientists, I believe, and they talk about spooky shit like all aliens and Bigfoot and like missing persons, Amelia Earhart, every kind of topic. And they just tackle it and they have fun doing it. So I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. Please have your questions ready, but we're going to dive right into it. So here we go. I got to unmute. There we go. Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
Good.
How are you?
That was weird. I've never had like the whole screen like shift on me before when I'm talking, and it just did it by itself. So I don't know.
I think
blaming you.
It's probably our fault, but I'm gonna debunk this right now. Not a ghost. I think my laptop has been, so my husband has a studio office in the backyard, and I think my laptop's been like trying to connect to that wireless access point rather than the house. So in order to troubleshoot this, my husband unplugged it, and like right when he did that is when I got bounced back in and we came back up on the screen. So apparently one of your guests losing their internet and then coming back after a few seconds.
Yeah, that might do it. Yeah.
Bounces us up. So there you go.
Wow. All right. I love this. See, this is great. This is like science at work. We're good. We just had a paranormal event and we debunked it. You debunked it. I didn't. Yeah. I didn't actually do shit. I just sat here and I'm like, what the hell's going on? So this is great. All right. So let's go around here. Paige, let's start with you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So my name's Paige. And I guess I'll just kind of give you a background as to how I got involved here. So Megan's my sister-in-law. And I have a background in chemistry. So I studied chemistry in college, had a huge love of Halloween growing up my whole life, really like scary movies and and I've always been super into true crime. So I got into podcasts that way, but yeah. So Megan asked if I wanted to do this podcast earlier in the year because of the pandemic, and we wanted something to keep us busy, and here we are. But yeah, my degree is in chemistry. I don't really practice. I'm not a practicing chemist anymore. I'm actually
sounds like you like dropped out of the church or something. You're like, I'm not a practicing.
Yeah, or like
chemist
makes
anymore.
it sound like witchcraft or something. Like, oh, I'm not practicing anymore.
But yeah, I guess I studied chemistry, so I am in that way a scientist.
Okay.
You do lab stuff still.
Yeah, I do some lab stuff still, but primarily I'm in health and safety now.
Okay. Megan, what about you?
Yep. I don't know.
Yep.
Someday. So I have a like Kenny said, a science background. I have a PhD in geochemistry, which is chemistry of rocks. So but I'm a lab manager, and our lab focuses on doing isotope analyses, which are all you need to know is I take rocks, turn them into powders, turn them into clear liquids using acid, and then analyze certain elements within them. And it allows us to say something about like past climate cycles and carbon cycling. And we look a lot at, what the rock record shows across like mass extinctions and all sorts of big climate events in the past. So that's professional Megan. And then spooky Megan is, like Paige, super into Halloween. It was always my birthday is the day after. So it was like the best set of double days ever as a kid. And I don't know. My parents let me watch the X-Files when I was way too young. And so that sort of like sparked my interest in like paranormal stuff, and went through a big alien phase when I was a kid. And then, it sort of just stuck with me.
Carol said, did you just say
Do I
you
dissolve pet rocks?
That's what I thought you said too. Uh-oh. I don't know. Like I heard it almost sounded like pet rocks, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna let that slide.
Can you guys hear me again?
Yeah. All right. So how did you two get together on this podcast? Like, how did the podcast idea come up?
What? Oh, I'm here. Can every?
Oh man,
no.
we're losing Megan.
We can. It's spotty.
I can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I think you're back.
I don't know. Okay, am I back? Am I back?
You're back.
Yeah.
Okay, I did it. I saw the pet rocks thing pop up. No. No, they are regular rocks. Mostly really old carbonate rocks. And we turn them into powders.
Okay.
And then we dissolve those powders.
There are no pet rocks harmed.
No. I mean, I guess I can't say for sure that like none of the rocks that I've ever picked up and dissolved were not somebody's pet rock at some point, but yeah.
But you're not purposely dissolving pet rocks.
But I'm not purposely dissolving.
All right.
No, we're harmed.
Okay, so then how did the concept of this podcast come about?
So like I said, I kind of was always into true crime. That's always been like my interest. That's actually why I studied chemistry. I really wanted to do forensic chemistry. And so I got really into true crime podcasts. I don't know, maybe like 5-10 years ago. And I actually introduced Megan to her first podcast, which is why I'm telling you this, because I'm very proud of that fact. But then, earlier this year, it was kind of just like Megan was like, hey, we're bored. I mean, honestly, we were bored with the pandemic. We were trying to find something to do. And the paranormal stuff was really, I think, more where her interests lie more than mine. But yeah, she just kind of asked me, hey, you want to start this podcast with me? And we sort of just did. I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't know if maybe there was something specifically, Megan, that inspired you to want to start it.
It sounds like
That's why I did it.
You know what? We're bored. We're drunk. Let's go online. Let's start streaming.
Like first 2 weeks of the pandemic, like who even knows what they were doing at that point? I have no idea. I think probably like I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm locked in my house with my almost 1-year-old and like my brain is melting. So like, yeah, I was probably listening to a lot of podcasts. Like I used to joke when I was on maternity leave, I was like, her first word is like definitely going to be murder because I listened to so many true crime podcasts. It was dog. So don't worry.
Well, that's good.
But, and yeah, I think I was probably just listening to a lot of podcasts at this time. And I like to listen to like a lot of paranormal ones and spooky ones, and it just hit me like, I've never really listened to one like that's from a skeptical perspective. They're always just like, here's the spooky story, and like, yeah, basically as if it's facts.
Right.
But yeah, now that we started doing the show, which I'm like still shocked that I've looped Paige into this, but I told her she's not allowed to leave me now. Now that we're doing the show, though, we met you and like this whole network of other podcasts that do shows from a skeptical angle that like I didn't even know existed. So that's been super fun because it's like now I get to listen to all those. So
that's awesome.
Basically, Megan had like a legitimate reason and she just asked me and I was like, yeah, all right.
Sure.
Sounds fun.
That sounds fun. Yeah, let's do it.
Which is like typical Paige. You can pretty much just ask Paige like any activity that's like something new and fun. You're just like, hey Paige, should we do this? And Paige is like, yes, I absolutely support this idea.
I am 100% on board. Yeah, I became aware of both of you because a friend of mine sent me a message one day, and I was just on work. I was in a parking garage, and I get a message from a friend of mine saying, "Hey, you need to check out this podcast. They talk about you." And usually when I get something like that, it's bad. It's like, great. Well, who do I piss off now? And what's going on? I'm like, all right, it's a podcast, Spooky Science Sisters. Okay. And that can go either way. Like it could be like, all right, maybe they're into science, but then maybe it's like, in my experience, most of the podcasts that are something like that, it's like, all right, they're not scientists. These are people that are pretending to use science. Oh, I must have pissed them off about something. Let me listen. And I'm going through and I'm like, okay, ghost gadgets. And my friend sent me he told me what episode it was. I'm like, all right, I'll listen to this one. And I was like, oh, this sounds pretty good. Oh, wow. They actually do research. That's not common among the paranormal community. Right? Real research. And then you, boom, my name. And I was like, oh, look, they're using my work. This is so cool. I was humbled.
You have no idea. So we both had, I'm pretty sure for that episode, found an article of yours and had talked about how we were both going to use, who this Kenny Biddle guy seems great. When you reached out to us, we were both like fangirling. Both very excited.
I was like screenshotting Paige like, oh my God, it's happening.
Oh my goodness. That's so cool. That makes me feel good.
We were so excited.
And look, now like I had the opportunity to be on your show. Mm-hmm. I got you on my show. Mm-hmm. And I mean, this is great. I love it. It's like you brought up, once you get into this and start doing things, you discover like all these other people and podcasts, and you start cross-referencing and talking about, oh, I heard it on this show. Like, I know you guys do that a lot where you reference other podcasts that you've listened to, depending on the topic that you talk about. And that's great for people like me, because I drive a lot So I'm listening to podcasts all the time. And I'm like, oh, well, that's a good one. And then I do the whole like weaving in and out of lanes, trying to write down what's the name of that podcast. All right. I got to look that up later. Okay, great. I'm going to jump into some questions here because I already see a few piling up and I don't want to get too far behind. So are you ready to field some questions?
Sure.
Sure are.
I have no idea what's coming.
I would say like every time we do, like we've done, this is our second time doing well, the radio thing wasn't live. It was just on like recorded. And like each time we do it and each time we have a guest, like the 10 minutes before we get on, we're always like, oh my God, I'm so scared. So
I'm like that every day. Every time I do this show, like I'm sitting here, I got on early and I'm sitting here like, all right, okay, like 4 minutes before they're supposed to get on. Okay.
Well, it's good to know it's not just us.
yeah.
Because you want to do, because if you're doing the show, it's like you want to make sure everything's done right. And like once in a while when I think it's going to be really, really busy, my wife can come up here and she can actually do producer job for me and take over like looking at the comments and working that stuff. But yeah, you want everything to be good and you're nervous and something goes wrong. It's like panic sets in like, oh shit. Like when Paige came on and as soon as she popped up, she's like, oh fuck. Oh no, what's gonna happen here?
Don't worry guys, it was just me being a ding dong. I forgot to turn the mic on.
You know, it happens. It happens.
Last week you didn't plug it in or something? Something weird happened.
It's always something.
It's fine.
It's always something like the silliest thing that you don't think of.
Yeah.
Right.
So the first question I have is from John Michael. As a geochemist, how do you feel about the stone tape theory of ghosts? Are you familiar with that?
Yes, but like correct me, because what I think it is that there's like certain rock / mineral types that basically have some sort of like energy that makes them more prone to like.
All
is that what it is?
Wait. First, I have to explain a rule that we have on this show.
Okay, I'm scared.
Is that anytime the word energy is used in the wrong context, we have to drink.
In the
so
wrong.
Everyone in this chat room is drinking now.
Oh, okay.
So drink up first.
Great.
Come on, Paige, get your NyQuil.
It's my bubbly.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, the stone tape theory is basically, in a nutshell, it's basically saying that some type of stones can act as almost like an audio recorder and record the vibrations of some kind of traumatic event. And then when other people come in and disturb it, they create their own vibrations, thus releasing this memory thing. And certain people, not everyone, but certain people will experience a recording of something that happened in the past. They can have like both visual and audio, just visual. It really depends on the person. There's a great write-up about this from Sharon Hill, who did a really good write-up about it. But that's basically it. So yeah, I'll pass it back to you.
I mean, like roughly how nice do I have to be about it?
You can be just be blunt, be honest. John's a big boy, he can take it.
Okay. I mean, I think any of that stuff is like total bullshit. Like, I mean, it's the same stuff as like people, I don't know. To me, it's the same stuff as people being like, oh, like this crystal, like, you know, I don't know, gets rid of my headaches or something like that. I'm trying not to force everybody to
quartz crystal, like, oh yeah.
Yeah, and like there are, I mean, like with quartz, for example, there is a thing called piezoelectricity, which is like why we put quartz crystals in watches, because you expose it basically to some little jolt of electricity or energy, sorry. And it like sets off this regular vibration basically that is gonna
because it
help
vibrates
keep the watch in time.
The quartz vibrates at a specific frequency when an electrical charge is applied, and therefore it's a perfect timekeeper.
Yeah.
I've had arguments with people in the past, ghost hunters, who swear like, no, a quartz watch is run off of the quartz. And I'm like, yeah, it's the timekeeping part is, but there's a battery inside.
Right.
And they're like, no, there's no battery. It's the quartz. Like, no, in my head, jackass. No, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, I mean, so it's like that kind of stuff, and like they relate stuff like quartz crystals and piezoelectricity to paranormal stuff, and like this whole stone tape thing. Like, I mean, if you want to get really sciencey, like technically every atom is like vibrating all the time, like in all matter. So, like, why? Yeah, and like sound waves aren't going to penetrate through the crystal lattice of minerals in a rock, so how are they going to get preserved? Or like, even if how
are they stored? Like that's what's the mechanism by which something like that would be stored?
Like I just don't think the sound waves would even get in there or like cause any sort of disturbance enough to like affect the energy of the rock.
You're going to get drunk.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. Sometimes I do a show on Saturday nights too, where there's 3 of us, and sometimes we actually did a show on energy and talked about the various forms of energy from the scientific perspective. But yes, by the end of the show, we were wasted. 3 of us, and I'm surprised we were able to turn off the live stream. By the end,
it would have just been you guys like sleeping it off. In the background.
8 hours later, like. But yeah, I agree that the stone tape theory. I mean, it was a I guess using the term theory as slang. It came up years and years ago because ghost hunters predominantly would use that as like, oh, the environment, something's imprinted on the environment, and therefore, it takes the right person to walk in and they're just like a tape player and they replay the recording. And I'm like, how? No, that's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. Like, even if you try to explain it, like associate the vibrations with sound, which, I get it. I understand that concept. But how do you get the visualizations? Like, how do you get the video part of what you're seeing? I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's just like a super radioactive rock. And so it's just like cooking people's brains and making them hallucinate.
Maybe it's like gamma rays and they're all going to like Hulk out. All right.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm also a comic book geek, if you haven't noticed.
That's fine. We're married to 2 of them.
Awesome. All right. So the next question I have is from Maria, and she asks simply, have you ever had an actual paranormal experience? Hey.
So I feel like
great because some of these answers I know because I've listened to your show, so I know. I feel like I know you so well.
So you're obviously this is where I have to talk about my imaginary friend. So my brother, who is married to Megan, he is 6 years older than me, and when he was very young, he had an imaginary friend. And, most kids' imaginary friends' names are like George or Jimmy. His imaginary friend's name was Numi. And my parents always thought it was really weird. But they kind of, like most kids, the imaginary friend went away and they kind of just let it go. And then I was born, and a couple years later, which I think we looked this up before, and it was like ages 3 or 4. young enough that like my
two
brother
to three was like
2
the
to 3.
youngest age that we saw. Yeah.
Okay.
Young enough that like my brother would not have remembered his imaginary friend. And so 2 or 3, I start having this imaginary friend follow me around that I'm talking to all the time. And my parents ask me what my imaginary friend's name is, and it is Numi. And like my brother, you know, we were both told about this as adults, and neither of us even remember having this imaginary friend. So it's unlikely that it would have been something my brother would have told me about. So yeah, it seems that my brother and I had the exact same imaginary friend with a very bizarre name.
So you did you say that neither you or your brother remember having this imaginary friend?
True. My parents told us about it as we got older.
Okay. So that's interesting. That's interesting to me because it's like now I'm thinking, all right, so did you both actually have this imaginary friend, or was it your parents that were kind of superimposing
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's possible.
one thing onto the other child?
Yeah. It's
Because I mean,
unclear.
growing up, like I have a brother, and he's 10 years younger than I am, and like we pretty much grew up separately. I mean, I lived in the house for a few years, and then I was out before he was, you know, old enough to. We didn't hang out. We didn't have the same friends. We didn't anything. We're too far apart. But I know my parents have messed up remembering things between the both of us, and I'm like, we're 10 years apart. We're a decade apart, and you still don't know what happened to me instead of what happened to him. Like, okay.
So I will say that when they told us about it, they specifically mentioned that it was weird when I started talking to Numi because the name was so weird when my brother had it that it really creeped him out.
Right.
But it's possible that like maybe they're just
Yeah. I mean, by the time you would
misremembering.
have had it, Steven would have been like, I don't know,
8 or 10.
6 to 8. Well, yeah, we're like 8 or 9
Yeah.
at the earliest. But I mean, like he might have remembered and just like
That's interesting.
have been fucking with you.
It
I
is-
don't know.
Everyone's just fucking with it. That's what it is. Family's in on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like everyone else knows this isn't real, and I'm
Yeah.
over here thinking that we were like
we're all
haunted
in
by
on
some.
it.
It comes up to like a family reunion, and then like, you go off to the bathroom, and they're all like,
Yeah. You believe this idiot? Yeah.
Oh.
My mom did say though that Numi, because I asked her about it last fall, and she said Numi was 30 years old and lived in their basement.
"Oh,
What the
that's
fuck,
creepy.
you guys?
That's creepy."
Potentially, we just had a 30-year-old man living in our basement.
There.
Yeah.
Also possible.
Oh, all right. So, Megan, what about you?
You probably already know mine. Mine's so stupid now. Now that I've told it several times, I'm like, I thought this was such a spooky story.
This is
And
what
now it's like-
happens when you become famous and you start guest starring on
Yes.
other podcasts.
So famous. No, I've told it so many times that it's like, this was definitely a helicopter. Okay. Paige knows.
Spoilers.
Okay. So this was when I was in 7th grade. So I was circa 13 years old. Yeah. And we were staying at my aunt and uncle's house, and they didn't have enough guest rooms, you know, for everybody to have a bedroom. So I was sleeping on the couch in their living room, and their living room had like some big sliders that went out to the backyard, and they lived sort of out in the middle of nowhere. So there was this big cornfield out there. And also in this backyard, they had this dog who'd like come from down the street and just like hang out on their porch all day. And her name was Patsy, which I think is hilarious. But yeah, so it's late at night, and honestly, my memory is like not good enough to remember if I like woke up from this or if I was like just still awake because I was reading or something. But either way, I hear like something pass in front of the house and like see sort of like the car headlights going past.
Uh-oh.
Oh
no. We lost her. Oh, we'll have to screen cap this right now.
Oh,
wait, she's back.
there she is.
Can you hear us?
Hello. I think she's.
Oh no.
Can you hear me again?
Yeah,
I hear you now,
you're back.
I don't know. Okay, literally, what was the last thing that I said?
You saw headlights.
You saw
Headlights. Great.
you
I'm
jumped out of the
sorry
way.
that your podcast is going to be a friggin' disaster because I don't know what my computer is doing today.
That's okay.
Okay. Okay. Headlights. And yes. So then I heard whatever this thing was pass over the house, and it like went way out, or what looked like way out into the cornfield, and then shined this super bright light back into the living room. And like, my brain is like, I'm 13 years old, and my brain's going like, oh my God, I'm about to get like X-Files, like lifted up and abducted out of this living room. Like, absolutely. Yes. And like the dog freaked out and was like, started like jumping up on the door and like scratching at the door before she ran away. It's like, that was spooky. And then, the light turned away and whatever it was, went off. And I think like at that point it was like really late at night, and I woke my mom up at like 1 or 2 in the morning and was like, I think I just saw an alien. What I think it was, because we're like pretty sure that afterwards we like might have heard helicopter sounds, was that it was like some sort of search helicopter that was like looking for somebody. And I guess like a lot of times if it's nighttime, they have like thermal cameras. So like what we're wondering is if they picked up the signature of the dog and like thought it might be a person, which is like potentially scarier because it's like, who the fuck were they looking for? But
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, so it's like a paranormal experience that probably is not paranormal, but it was like one of the weirdest things that I've ever experienced in my life.
I would tend to agree. I work for a helicopter company. I built helicopters from the ground up. So I'm familiar with them. I'm familiar with what they do. So it does sound like it. And probably if you're dealing with, how long ago was this? 10, 20 years?
How old am I? It was, oh my God, it was 20 years ago.
Sorry.
I'm so old now.
So they might not have had FLIR. So the infrared camera, they might have been just using a regular spotlight, looking through the fields, and seeing if they could find somebody or see anybody hiding. But that definitely sounds what it is. To me.
I mean, they had to have like seen the dog and then realized that it was the dog and gone away. But I was like pretty sure I was getting abducted.
It is like not very comforting that there's an explanation for yours, and Kenny's like trying to debunk it, and basically mine was like, well, you're haunted.
Your parents were fucking with you.
I mean that's what I would go with. The family's fucking with Paige. And Megan is seeing helicopters.
Yeah. You've had
like that sounds like an X-Files episode.
Oh, mine. I know.
Yeah.
I've watched so many, and like there are definitely ones where it's like teenage girl sleeping at night and then like bright light, she's gone. So it's not great.
All right, let me throw another one up here. This is actually for me. Let's see. Maria asks, Kenny, what do you think about haunted objects? We're all going to field this one. What do you think about haunted objects like Annabelle, the suicide table, left behind energy? Why do you have to say that word? And vibrations. So I'll let you both go first. Paige, what do you think about haunted objects? Like this one.
I mean, first of all, I will say I love porcelain dolls. They're beautiful. I'm actually really bad at those. Getting that too.
I am.
Love me. Love me. I love you, Paige.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. And I think that for a lot of people, they're spooky. Like they just, I think a lot of people think they look spooky. But I don't know that I don't think that they're actually haunted or that, they can do anything to you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't really think it's a thing.
Yeah, I think it's just that, I think that people just find them kind of spooky looking, and
especially with the dolls, but also what is the suicide table? Like that's
yeah,
terrible.
Yeah, that I actually don't know what that is. I can look it up real quick.
I would say I can Google it.
Yeah,
let's Google it and see what's going on.
The suicide table.
Yeah, but things like okay, this is my chance. Kenny, I was gonna ask you if you'd heard all the Robert the Doll stories.
I've heard quite a few about
this.
Robert the Doll. Yes, I'm quite familiar with him and the legend surrounding him, especially you're not supposed to take pictures of it without asking permission, and if you do, then bad things will happen, and you have to go back and apologize and all this stuff. So are you wondering what I think about it?
Yeah, I wonder because the original stories of him with his little original owner are really creepy.
So I mean, I did a video a while ago, maybe last year, on how to create a haunted doll. That was literally what it was, talking about how to do it, and it was real simple. I mean, you take a creepy doll like this, you think about a story, and I write. I mean, I write articles, I write investigation notes, and I can come up with a good story because I've read probably 50,000 freaking books about ghost stories over the last 3-4 decades. And it's really easy to come up with a little story and throw a doll in a box and say, you can't touch it because it's haunted. That way no one can test it. So no one can debunk you because you don't let anyone. And then you just keep telling them the story. And then if something bad happens, then it comes down to confirmation bias.
Right.
Where it's all right, well, this is supposed to happen. I'm supposed to have bad things happen if I do this. So I did it. And now people go home, and every time something bad happens, they're like, oh shit.
It must be because
the doll made it. The doll did it.
Right.
I mean, for me, that question, Robert the Doll, and then this question here, it comes down to, over the last couple of years, I've collected alleged haunted / cursed objects from people. People have given it to me, donated to me. At one time, I was supposed to open a museum until some crazy person screwed me over. That's a whole nother story.
Oh no!
Yeah, I know, it's so sad. But I literally have boxes and boxes of stuff with all kinds of stories that are. I have over 100 items down in my basement right now, and some of them are up here. This one, this, all supposed to be cursed or haunted. They're all in boxes together. They're all in one place. I'm hoping for the whole Ghostbusters blow through the roof thing where it all just comes out into New York. But nothing has ever happened. So do I think things are haunted? No, not at all. And I also have, and this is a topic I've covered before, where it's what's the purpose? If somebody says this doll is haunted and it walks around, why? Why?
Yeah.
Why? And what's the mechanism? This has no muscles or bones. It can't walk. So if you're going to get into this thing, just let's do a thought experiment. If you're a demon, because it's always a demon. If you're a demon and you like, oh, well, let me get into this cute little doll and I'm going to make it do this. Why? Because if I see that moving, the first thing I'm going to do is just drop kick it. I'm just going to kick it across the room, and then
it will just find you again.
I know that's what it does, right? But I never understood the whole purpose of possessing a doll or any object.
Yeah,
it just seems silly to me.
So I wonder if it's like if some of those stories stem from like misinterpretations of people getting sick from like toys that were infected with something. Because like if you think about like like infectious diseases or like, things like plague and stuff like that, it's like people could catch it from shared objects. So like I wonder if some of those stories stem from like,
right,
my daughter was given this doll and like it happened to belong to a sick child before, and like she ends up dying. So then the person's like, oh, well, the doll is cursed because we don't know what germs are. Like,
I can totally see that happening. I mean, if like I have allergies, if I can't get near any like dog or cat that sheds, pet dander is horrible for me. Like I start crying, my eyes get red and puffy, and my chest actually like tightens up, and I can't breathe. So I could see like if I picked up a doll that had pet dander on it, within a minute or two, I'm going to start feeling these symptoms. So I can see like me picking this up and like, oh, it's not haunted. No, it's nothing. It's what's the big deal? And walking away, and all of a sudden, like I'm like,
yeah, right.
Oh my God, what happened to me? And right there, that would, to other people, especially if they already believe this stuff works, they're like, dude, it's the doll.
Yeah.
Right. Doll. You're cursed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could totally see that. And then just the idea of confirmation bias after that, it doesn't even have to be an allergic reaction. If you come into contact with something that's allegedly haunted, and then like the story is that, hey, bad things happen if you like look at it in its eyes. And, of course, a smart ass like me, that's the first thing I do. And I walk away and something bad happens. I post on Facebook like a week later, like, oh shit, I fell down the stairs. Everyone's like, dude, you did that to the doll. Guess what? It happened.
Right.
That's it.
And yeah, but you know what? Like 2 days before that, I won the lottery. So like, what? Something good happened. I don't get it.
I looked up the suicide table.
Ooh,
and it's apparently a table. It's a poker table that allegedly is cursed and causes gamblers to commit suicide. And like, I also looked up what the attempted suicide rates are for people who are like addicted to gambling.
Right.
And it's like 1 in 5 gamblers attempt suicide. So, which is very sad. But like also probably not the table.
Right.
Yeah, that's just like a population that's more prone to suicide.
Right.
So,
right.
Suicide. Yeah, because of the winning and, well, not so much the winning, but the losing, and losing everything. And I mean, when you get into the gambling, you have that idea like, oh, you know what? The next one, my bad luck can't keep going. The next one I'll win. I'll make it back. And then before you know it, you're on the street and you have nothing, and you're down on your luck. That's horrible. I actually looked it up. It's on Roadside in America. I put the link in the chat room.
Sweet.
Because that's something like that. And you know what? Like these places are kind of like, our mutual friend, Mr. Baggins. um, that has a museum where he showcases this kind of stuff. And if you put this up with a big sign that says like suicide table, and you put up the story, and everyone's coming through, they get that impression. And now you spread the rumor around, and everyone knows what the suicide we know what the suicide table is now. So when we go there, if we visit, it's like, ooh, that's the table. Oh,
table.
For me, I want to play poker on it now.
Right.
See what happens. But
yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. Well, and not to be like too, this is going to get dark. I'm sorry. This is what
It's
always
okay.
happens. Not to get too dark, but like, and I don't know if it's true for adults who commit suicide, but like definitely when they talk about like media for teenagers and stuff, they like depictions of it in like various media that they see, like can be very triggering. So it's like almost like I wonder, like, okay, you take this population of people who is more prone to this, because of the stress of what they're doing, and then you take somebody who's like, yeah, I'm gonna play at the suicide table, but it sort of like plants the idea in their head, basically. So like I wonder if it's almost like a weird sort of a very sad, like, I don't know, sort of confirmation bias thing happening.
Almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'm going to play at this table. I don't believe in the curse, but then you lose, and then you feel the depression, and then you buy into the story.
Yeah.
That's going on. Yeah, I totally get that. I have another question here. Just steer away from the darkness that Megan brought us into.
A different way. Sorry.
It's all right. No, that's actually good though. I mean, this is the kind of thing that I like talking about, because it shows people like, all right, there's other ways to look at this. It's not just a suicide table. It does not have this curse. You can go to any table, any poker table, and lose. Most of the time, you will lose.
Right.
That's how they play the game. What you do afterwards is purely up to you. It has nothing to do with this piece of wood and felt and nails and glue. Nothing to do with it. It's unfortunately it's up to the person and their mentality when they leave. So this is a long question. I haven't actually read this yet. So John Michael asks, how do you respond to someone who genuinely believes they are a psychic empath, i.e. they can supposedly feel emotions from the past and see visions of spirits and other nonsense? How do you nonsense? Thanks, John, for putting that in there. How do you convince them to stop being full of crap when they genuinely believe?
How do
I don't
unfriend them on Facebook and never talk to
Right.
them again.
I probably just don't address it. I think that for the most part, people who have very strong beliefs in those areas, like there's nothing I'm going to do or say that's going to change that. So
Right.
Yeah.
I can,
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say that, like, I can maybe give them my opinion and just sort of leave it, but I don't know that I'm ever going to spend the time to try to convince them that they're, full of crap or that I think they're wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on who it is, but yeah, probably my response would just be like, oh, neat. Like, okay.
As you slowly like walk away.
Bye. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, that's one of those ones that I think overall is like pretty harmless. So it's like, well, it's not going to hurt me if this person wants to, make these claims about themselves. So whatever.
Yeah, for me, it's generally it's I don't often go out seeking to confront people unless I think they're doing damage or potential harm to somebody. Like if they're giving bad advice. Like I've come across people that have told clients that they can stop taking their medication, and once I hear that, it's like, oh fuck no, we're going into this, we're going into this like gloves off, we're gonna fight this because that's dangerous. You potentially are hurting, if not could kill someone by following that advice. But when it comes to like a subtle thing like this, where it's more like they're claiming that they feel emotions from the past. Like when they walk into a room, I'm like, oh, I feel like this was a lot of sorrow and this and that. If they ask me what I think, then I will certainly tell them. I'm certainly bluntly honest with them. I'll tell them exactly what I think. I'll try to be polite as I can. But it's difficult being polite when you're completely disagreeing with someone. Because it always doesn't come off as polite.
Right.
But if they're like seeing visions of spirits and stuff, then like usually it's like, okay, what do you see? And it's very nice questions, simple questions. What do you see? Oh, I see a man standing here. Okay, what's he look like? What kind of clothing? I mean, do you see him like me? And that's like the catcher. That's the thing for me. Like if I say, can you see this person, this spirit, almost as clear as you can see me? And if they say yes, I got you. Because now it's like, all right, can you walk up to them and like, is there any like what kind of vest or shirt or pants? Tell me details.
Mhm.
Like details. Because if I can walk up to you and read your t-shirt and tell you what it says, then you can walk up to them and look for any writing, any branding, anything. Tell me details.
Mhm.
And that usually shuts them up. The conversation is usually over like quickly after that. But I agree with both of you. Like sometimes you just can't, no matter what you say, it's not going to make a difference. And why I don't want to waste my time.
Yeah.
Like if they're convinced they can do it and other people are there and they are convinced that this person can do this psychic empath thing, then all I'm going to be is that guy that's, causing a ruckus.
Yeah.
I'm the asshole in the corner, like going, no, you can't do that shit. No. No. All right.
Oh, geez.
So you guys do this show, and I'm going to get to my questions now. Thank you for fielding some of those questions. That was fun.
Yeah.
Of course.
So you do this show, you put this podcast together. I'm curious. I usually, like when I do this show tonight, I started preparing this afternoon, like about 1:00. So like, oh, let me take a look and see what's out there. Maybe I have to fill 2 hours. How hard can that be? And that's my mistake all the time because I'm constantly trying to figure out what to do. So how long does it take for either of you to research a show? You're already laughing. That's funny. What's it take
Always
to
giggling.
complete? What's it take to complete a show?
Research wise, I would say it sort of depends on the topic. And honestly, it sort of depends just kind of what our weeks look like. Sometimes we spend a full week reading and researching and some nights some days it comes to the night before we record and we still have to do some research. But I mean, I would say at the very least a couple hours.
Okay.
Would you agree with that, Megan?
It's more than that for a typical episode. Yeah, like the short end, I think, is probably like, like 4 hours,
For a
solid
piece,
time,
yeah.
probably. Yeah, and that's like each of us, so like total man hours, like 8. Yeah, and then it varies because like there will be some subjects where like the whole week leading up to us recording it, I'm like listening to podcasts related to it and taking notes during the day and like trying to, like taking notes from those of things to look up later. So it depends.
So have you either of you like started talking? Like when I do the show Saturday nights with my other two buddies, sometimes we talk and like, hey, are you covering this? Yes, I'm covering. Okay, I'm not going to cover that then. We usually come about it at 2 different or 3 different perspectives. And sometimes we get together if it's a big topic so that we don't overlap. Are there any times where both of you are like, you're sharing notes and one of you goes like, what the fuck are you talking about? What is that? Don't say that. Do you ever disagree or have an issue beforehand?
No,
No, probably
That's
not.
That's
I
good.
don't think so.
Yeah, we take notes like in the same Google document, like on the same
okay,
Google
good.
Drive. So it's like we're sort of, the few days before, like each logging in there and like adding stuff to the outline, adding sources that the other one can look at. And
Okay.
a lot of times it's like the night before and we're both logged in, like trying to figure out. Yeah, but it is like we sort of just naturally split things or pick a couple
and
things we
kind
want to
of
focus on.
and just kind of like build off of where the other person's sort of started
Okay.
already. I
Yeah.
think.
Unless frequently I get super excited about a topic and then Paige is like, I went to bed and we had 3 pages of notes and now we have like 9. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can't say there's ever been a time where I've been like, what the heck are you talking about? But there have definitely been times where I've logged on and thought like, great, these were all the notes I had and you already have taken them all. So
Yeah.
Have either of you gotten hate mail yet? Or have you gotten like a
No.
conspiracy kind of
Oh,
person that's like,
the guy with the okay.
Oh, I forgot
Oh,
about that.
yes, I love this kind of stuff.
Oh
No
my
hate
God.
mail though.
No hate mail. No
No
hate
hate
mail.
mail.
So
Yes.
that's great.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
we've
it's
just got
coming.
yeah. We're too
Send you
we're
some
too
tomorrow.
small so far. Like nobody gives a shit what we're talking about. It's fine. But we did have a guy message us to advertise his services as an official photographer for aliens. And he had a sample of like an alien green pepper. I don't know what it was.
That's not what I
think it just
expected you
like
to say.
looks like a piece of like old green pepper that someone had taken a picture of.
You started saying like he had this picture of like an alien, and I'm thinking in my head like, I don't know, like maybe like a limb or a body or a spacecraft, and you're like pepper. What?
It was like a vegetable or something, right?
Oh my goodness. Wow.
But anyway, yeah, he'd been like, I don't know, chosen by them. And his like, it was either like he was receiving some combination of like cell phone messages, but also maybe like something telepathic. I don't know. They were beaming alien selfies to his phone for sure.
I'm giggling at all the comments right now. Wait, how do you become the official photographer for aliens? Like all aliens?
It's a very long process.
All
You
of
have to
them.
know somebody.
All of them.
So
Wow.
anyway, so that guy was like, you should have an open mind and like, I want to come on people's shows. And I was like, honey, no. You don't want to do that.
Oh my goodness.
So
All right. Nice one, Bob. Oh. All right. We're gonna take our break. I'm gonna run my commercial real quick. So we're gonna have 2 minutes and 22 seconds to do whatever we want to do, and I will meet you both back here. And we will continue this conversation about alien peppers. All right, hold on a second. As soon as I play the commercial, all our mics will be muted, so you can do what you have to do. Okay?
All right.
All right, here we go.
Hey everyone, this is my store based on the theme of science and skepticism. It's here that you can find all kinds of shirts and hoodies, yoga pants, tote bags, the fanny packs I know you guys love, masks and pillows, all with science and skepticism as the theme. I even have hoodies for your pets. That's right, your dog or cat can wear one of these things. I also have a general store that sells more inspirational quotes or, drinking stuff because I like that kind of thing. I also have a store set up for our 3 Tortured Souls podcast, which we do Saturday nights. You can find shirts and Tim Vicker's favorite drinking vessel, the mug. I also have a store tailored a little bit more towards my ghost hunting friends, Paranormal by I Am Kenny Biddle. These are shirts and quotes that are a little bit more on the ghost hunting side, especially this one, Translucent Perished Beings. You know, ghosts. That's my favorite. So if you're interested, head on over to teespring.com/stores/scientific skepticism by IAKB and check it out. Thanks.
Are you tortured by what you see and hear about the paranormal field? Join us as we critically examine and question paranormal claims, science, ghosts, demons, cryptids, UFOs, ghost hunting technology, and much more are all on the table for discussion. 3 Tortured Souls is a video podcast that streams live on Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 Pacific.
3 Tortured Souls.
All right, we are back.
Hello. Hello. I may have gone back and found the picture.
Oh yeah, we can
you got
pull it
the
up.
pepper pick.
Yeah, well, I unfortunately don't have it where I could easily I can show it to you on my camera, which may not be great, but it's
Yeah,
there.
is there a way to get it to you?
Is there yeah.
Oh, he was publishing a book too.
It was not
So-
it was not an alien pepper, it was an alien fish shrimp. Basically, I'm like Dr. Dolittle, but with aliens. Hold on. I will.
In trouble.
I know. I'm gonna message it to you, Kenny, if that's okay, Megan.
Yeah, I don't care. Okay, that's what I'm remembering. Okay, just wait until you get the alien fish / shrimp. Like, it just looks like an old piece of green pepper that like was under somebody's fridge. And then they were like, I'm gonna take a picture of this and say it's aliens.
It does look just like a pepper.
All right. Where's it coming from?
Um,
Dun, dun.
it should just have gone to you on Facebook.
Okay. Let me see here. Oh, there it is. Let's see. Oh boy. What? Oh my God. All right, I'm sharing this.
Oh,
'cause
no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a Twitter post, so it's not like
All right.
we all could have found this on our own.
Come on, that's for sure an old pepper from underneath somebody's fridge. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. Or somebody
this
like
says-
accidentally dropped it while they were cooking it in some stir fry or something.
He actually he
Yeah.
calls it an alien fish shrimp. Basically, I'm like oh my God, you were right. I thought you were just saying this yourself. Holy shit. Basically Dr. Dolittle, but with aliens, UFOs, not animals. Invisible UFO light energy makes me the most. What?
This might be where our hate mail comes from.
Wow.
Right here.
I'm sorry. We don't know.
I don't know what
That looks
that
like
is.
a light exposure photo of someone's beard trimmings. Oh, this one I remember because I was like, that's just a fucking fossil. Like, that's just a rock you found.
Thanks, John. That's a great comment. Oh my goodness.
I'm
So
sorry.
yeah, this is now my new favorite picture. I'm saving this.
Yeah.
And
I'm really sorry, listeners. We are mean.
that's
But I can't.
That's not mean. I mean, well, I've done worse. So don't worry.
I can't with the pepper.
Wow. Shrimp like alien porn. Yes, Carol. Oh my goodness. All right. So I'm never gonna get over this. I'm gonna see this all night. I'm gonna be waking up going, alien pepper. What's going on? What is that? All right. So you've done like over 20 shows now, 20 podcasts.
Yeah, just over.
What is your favorite? From both of you. Megan, you first.
Gosh.
What is your favorite and why?
That's hard. Probably okay, so the ones that we've done on our I don't know. I mean, I really like the ghost ones. So like the episode 2, which is like the original ghost hunting equipment one that we did, like it's early, so it's not the best sound quality, and like it's a little rougher around the edges than some of the later ones, but I just really love that episode because I think that's where Paige realized like just how much of a maniac I was about watching ghost shows. And I'm not just saying this because we're on this show, but the one that we got to do with you where we did debunking famous haunted places, like I'm just waiting for the next time that we get to do part 2 of that. So
yes,
yeah.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because it was just I love doing investigations where I can spend like days or weeks on it and just really get into nitty gritty. I love that kind of stuff, like a boots on the ground kind of thing. But I love this kind of stuff where it's live and you're put on the spot. So even though it was recorded, it was still put on the spot kind of thing because you're both like, all right, this is the story. Now, Mr. Skeptic, what do you think? All right, cool. Yeah. The hamster really starts going in the cage up top. And we really got into it. And it was fun because the stories were fun. The stories that you brought up were really fun to talk about and explore. So I love that kind of stuff. And yes, thank you for saying that was one of your favorites.
Yeah, I'm not just saying it because we're on your show, but like I love that episode so much.
Yeah, and you're such a great guest. So
that
made it a lot of fun too.
It was like, holy crap, we're having Kenny Biddle on the show. But like B, we also found out that we're like only 1 degree away from the ghost hunters people. So it was like, oh my gosh. All this time.
I do know. Like I haven't actually said this before on the show, but I am good friends with Jason Halls.
You talked about that on our thing. I was like,
and we've talked on the phone a couple times, and I'm trying to get him on this show.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be cool.
Our schedules are not meshing right now, but we have talked back and forth, and he keeps saying like, all right, maybe next week, and I'm already have a guest on and stuff like that. So we just haven't been able to get it, but that'll be interesting.
Yes. Which I can tell you from that episode that we did where we were talking about the Stanley Hotel and the Ghost Hunters episode from that where like his glass like mysteriously shatters in the middle of the night or whatever. Like that was bullshit, we found out. So you'll find out in like not the episode in a week, but like the episode 2 episodes from now. Yeah. We found out that like he himself confirmed that like that happened because like a busboy delivered like a hot glass and he poured ice water into it. So it was exactly what you thought, that it was like a temperature change.
Yes. You did it.
That got it. That got it to shatter. And but he's like straight up admitted to other skeptical people that like the producers just kept it in, even though it was 100% bullshit.
Right. And we
So-
find that a lot with these kind of television reality shows, that they're mostly, even if they don't have like a full script, they're scripted. They're thought out, they're planned out, and a lot of the stuff is like, all right, because one of the places I went to, I can't remember the name of it. It's not far from me. It's only about an hour away, but the ghost hunters went there, and when I talked to the person that was in charge of it a couple years later, he confirmed. He's like, yeah, they did scenes like over and over and over again. They would like do something where the two guys would come out and be like, oh, what was that? And the camera guy would like, I didn't get that all, go back there and do it again. And they would shoot it again. And then one of the co-hosts from my Three Tortured Souls podcast, his wife worked in the industry, and she tells us all the time, like, oh shit, yeah, like nothing's real. Nothing is real. So I get it. And I'm really looking forward. Jason Halls is, I like him. We talk. Sometimes we talk. We actually like talk on the phone and for like an hour or two and just bullshit and talk about different things. And he's a really nice guy off camera. On the show, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's so much bad pseudoscience that it's just, I think it's just horrible. But enough about me. We got a question for Paige. Paige, how does chemistry help with haunted places items?
I honestly don't know that we've covered a topic at this point where chemistry has really been super helpful. I think we talked about it a little bit in Skinwalker on the Skinwalker Ranch episode. But honestly, I mean, I'm sure that there's something out there in like some haunted place where chemistry would help, but like so far I've not found that. I can't say.
Actually, bringing this up in relation to ghost hunters and stuff, and I think, Paige, didn't you say that you were thinking of going in forensic science?
That's why I initially studied chemistry. Yeah, but I've never actually officially done it.
So one of the episodes that I watched of Ghost Hunters, they went out to a place that's not too far from me. I think like about 3 hours drive. But they were going about it, and there was a thing about the witching tree where there was supposedly a witch that was buried underneath the tree, and that like kept her locked in there. Some magic bullshit that kept her in the ground. But they started digging, and they brought up this little section of burlap, and there were stains on it. And they did this testing. They were like, oh, let's test it for blood. So they went and got some luminol, and they sprayed it with luminol, and then they used a UV light. And I'm like, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. So I looked it up and realized like that blood doesn't luminesce. That you don't use a UV light to find blood. That when you spray the luminol on it, it glows really briefly, this blue color, and you have to have it like really, really dark, like completely dark in order to see it at all. But what does luminesce under UV light is either pee or sperm.
Yeah.
So, and immediately I was like, ew!
Oh no!
They had their hands all over this. Ew. So I mean,
you like really gotta hope that someone peed on that bag.
Yeah. I mean, that's one instance. I mean, just thinking outside the box, like that's one instance where chemistry would come in handy because I didn't know. Like
Right.
I didn't know until like it didn't sound right to me, but whenever something doesn't sound right to me, that's when I'm like, all right, well, my phone comes out and I'm automatically on Google, like, what does luminol do? What's the process? How do you do
Right.
this? Because, oh, wait, it doesn't do this. So I'm actually anxious to get him on the show and be like, hey, that blood thing, do you know that wasn't blood? And talk about that a little bit. So, all right. So, I love it, John. On that escalated. Yes, it did. You never know what's going to happen on this show, John. All right. So I asked you about your favorite topics. And wait. So Megan, you told us, Paige, what was your favorite topic?
It's probably also split. I would say that the Boogeyman episode was one of my favorites. It ended up being, we went into it knowing like most people anyways, I would say a large majority of people do not believe the Boogeyman is real. Obviously, there's kids out there, but I
Right.
don't believe I know a single adult who believes in the Boogeyman. So it's kind of a different topic for us because we were going into something that we already knew wasn't real and just kind of talking about the origins of it. But it was a really thought-provoking episode, and actually ended up being like kind of sad. But I thought that was a really great topic. And then the Dyatlov Pass episode was also
Oh,
one
I
of my
forgot about
favorites.
that one.
Yeah, it was very good. Or I thought it was good. I guess I'm biased, but had a lot of fun with that one. And I think we've been talking about it since and sending each other articles about it since. Not really sure like where we stand on it. So
So
yeah,
can you
I think those
explain
would be my
that
two favorites.
quickly for people that don't know what you're talking about?
Can I what? I'm sorry?
Can you explain that quickly, just in case people don't know what you're talking about?
Oh, like
the
what
Dyatlov
Dyatlov
Pass?
Pass is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just very briefly, it was a group of hikers basically in you can probably help Megan because I know you know this a little bit better than I do, but it was in Russia.
Yeah, in the Ural Mountains of Russia. So it's
Yeah.
this like group of basically like recent college graduates and like one older guy who are trying to like get some sort of hiking certification.
And they all go out hiking and they go they camp for the night, set up camp for the night, and they all disappear. They never come back. Or I guess they don't disappear. They find some of their bodies, but they never make it back home. And there's a lot of theories as to what happened to them. I think the most popular one is probably the avalanche theory, that there was some sort of avalanche that scared them, and
Right.
they all died in the extreme cold weather. But there were bodies that were bruised and bodies that were missing eyes and stuff. So there's all these theories as to what happened to them. And yeah,
I'm sorry.
they're probably
Aliens is 100% one of
Yeah.
the theories. People are like, we saw light
always a theory.
in the area.
Goodness.
I don't think we've covered a single topic where aliens wasn't a possible.
It's
it wasn't
literally
a theory.
always an option.
It's one of those default things. It's like where you have like something comes up and it's like, what could it be? And the defaults are like ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Like that's the big three that all automatically comes up. But alien comes up for so many. I mean, all you have to do is look at the History Channel for any kind of like 5 minutes and you'll see something about aliens.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So all right, and the Boogeyman, that's interesting. Like, I guess what is the Boogeyman? Like, I know I've heard of it. It was always like the spooky thing, like, oh, the Boogeyman will get you. But what the hell is a Boogeyman?
I mean, it's just that. It's a story, and it's a way that it's really a way that parents have used to get their kids to behave. And we've obviously did a ton of talking about this, but it's a way for kids to it's a way for kids to deal with fear and trauma, really. They basically it allows them to establish some sort of connection with something that I don't know if I'm making any sense.
It's putting like a almost like a physical object.
Yeah, fear,
but a non-physical object, but
right.
something there that that kids can put the fear to and associate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and so
it's
that
basically
way,
like how kids learn to contextualize the feeling of fear.
Right.
Okay. This big ass creepy thing is going to come get them in the night.
Yeah. And I think also it's just like we learned that a lot of it was like, yeah, parents telling their kids like, don't wander off into the woods or the boogeyman will get you. Cause it's like, hey, you need to work on the farm.
And then you guys did an episode where you actually talked about Santa Claus being a boogeyman, correct?
We did a Santa science episode, and I think we like briefly touched on Santa as like sort of a boogeyman, but not in the same way that like, you know, the standard or the typical boogeyman is, because a lot of people or a lot of kids fear the boogeyman, where I don't think kids fear Santa the same way. I hope not anyways, but
you haven't seen those kids crying in the mall photos.
Fair.
There's a lot of kids like that.
It's this idea that if you're naughty, you're not going to get a Christmas present. If you don't act right, you're not going to get something out of it. If you're bad, you're going to get this consequence. So it's
really it's like the highest rung on the boogeyman in terms of like the parent spectrum. Like, oh, if you're bad, Santa's gonna, leave you coal or whatever.
Would you consider the Krampus to be more of a boogeyman?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. My wife loves the Krampus. Loves it.
We watch that movie like every year.
I can't stand that movie.
Oh,
come on.
We went to a theater. Like my wife went with a friend of hers, and they went. They loved it. She absolutely loved it, and she's probably in the other room, probably cursing me out now. But they loved it, and they came home and were like, "Oh, this was a great movie. You have to see it." I'm like, all right, great. I'll go with you. We went to the theater, sat in there. Within 15 minutes, I was like, this is the most boring fucking movie I have ever watched in my life.
It's fun.
I know what's going to happen. I know everything that's going to happen. And then I actually ended up putting my jacket, because it was wintertime, over my head and playing on my phone until I actually left. Like, I think halfway through the movie, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I actually walked out.
So funny enough, talking about boogeymen, that's how I felt about the Babadook.
Oh my God, that was horrible. I am totally on Team Paige with this.
Haha.
So I watched that too, thinking, okay. And I actually have all right, hold on a second. I gotta show you this. I gotta show you, because you'll appreciate this.
Oh, little guy.
A little Babadook. And I bought it because in concept, I thought it was a really good idea. Like a good horror movie, kind of like spooky idea, but the movie sucked.
No, it didn't. It was a metaphor.
A metaphor what?
Like her grief about her husband dying. Like it was the physical manifestation of that.
There you go. Tim agrees with you.
I mean, that may be true, but that doesn't mean it was an entertaining movie.
See, there you go. That's my wife, Donna. She was pissed off when I left the movie. Now I'm in trouble.
You were wrong. You were also wrong about Titanic.
So let's see. So I asked you about your favorite topics that you've talked about. What about, is there a show like that you started doing and you're like, oh crap, I don't want to do this anymore. This is horrible. This is a bad topic, but you did it anyway? Or you just... I
immediately know my answer.
What are you going to say?
No, you go first.
I don't know that I know my answer. I mean, I know which of our episodes I enjoyed the least, maybe is the right answer. However, it was also our first episode, so I don't know that that's, like we were still figuring out what we were doing. Our sound quality was kind of mostly because I had like terrible mic. So
and I didn't know how to use mine.
I think, I don't know, that might be it. I don't know.
Okay. But like not because you were sick of it. I don't know. I can't. Yeah.
Are you gonna say Amelia Earhart?
No, that'd be so fucking rude. The one topic that Paige was like super pumped to do, and like I'm like, that was my least favorite. It sucked.
Oh, actually, I do know my least favorite. Keep going.
Okay. No, my least favorite is that we had to do and like not least favorite in that like I think the episodes are bad or I didn't still like have fun, but like was having to do the fucking Skinwalker Ranch stuff.
Wow. So why?
I lost again.
She's gone again.
Oh no. That was good though. That was good timing. Like,
yeah, it was great timing.
Like almost like she's like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm checked out.
I'm out.
I'm out. Oh my goodness. Oh wait, she's coming back. She's
I'm here. I'm sorry. I don't like my computer's been fine for weeks, and now it's just like, no, this isn't what I want to do.
It's all right. So
okay,
so
my least favorite.
Why is that your least favorite?
Oh, the Skinwalker Ranch. Yes. Yeah. Just because like it's so asinine what they're doing there. And like by the end, I was like, this is the dumbest fucking thing that I've ever had to watch. And like, I cannot believe people think there's actually something weird going on.
I have the same thoughts. I've heard about it. People have asked me about it many, many times. And it's like, all right, let me look. And I'll start watching one of the I think like on Netflix or Amazon, one of them where it's like the Skinwalker Ranch, and I started watching. I'm like, this is stupid. Why are people watching this? I don't understand. Like, how can you take this seriously? This is silly, beyond silly. Why are people watching it?
It's pretty hard to watch.
Yeah, and I've watched really bad stuff. Like sometimes I have to review something, or like there's plenty of times where I buy a book and I'm like, I have to read it because there's claims that are in the book and I have to read through it to make sure I get the proper context. And I mean, there's dozens of times you can ask my wife where like I've read a book and I'm like, and I throw it like literally across the room. I'm like, I'm done. Don't touch the book. No one touch that book. No one do it. Because it sucks. But yeah, I mean, I get it, but I keep going back. I think I've watched the first 15 minutes of the Skinwalker Ranch like 6 or 7 times because I keep starting and then stopping because I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Why?
Here's what we discovered is that if you just watch the last episode, you literally don't have to watch like any of the
literally
like
maybe watch the first episode to like get introduced to everybody. But yeah, like by the end of us doing that, Paige was like, we're gonna watch all the episodes. And I was like, no, fuck this shit. Like I'm skipping episodes. So I'm sorry.
I did watch all of the episodes.
She did watch all of it. But like,
really?
Okay. There's like this thing with like a cow mutilation. Like, okay. This cow just like lays down and dies, and those fucking assholes just like sit there and watch it happen. It's like, go help your cow, you idiot. Anyway.
Yeah, and they like sorry, never mind. I could go on about
like,
Skinwalker
the
Ranch
whole
forever.
show. Like episode 1, they're like, oh, like something's weird going on with this cow. And I was like, they're going to say fucking nothing this entire show. And it's all going to come back to the cow. And lo and behold, that was like the main topic of the final episode.
Yeah. I don't think I'll ever get through this series.
Don't do it.
It's just too much. It's
it probably made me dumber.
Oh, trust me. I know I've lost a lot of brain cells with the shit that I've investigated and covered.
Yeah.
It's,
And like I watch a lot of dumb TV, so like it's saying something if even I thought like this is really dumb.
so do you watch like something for me is like when after like a really in-depth investigation for me, like when I'm really deep diving and I'm reading books and websites and interviews and calling people, once I'm done, like all I want to do is sit, drink, and watch Monty Python and just be like totally dumb for a couple hours.
I think what we watch might be dumber than what you watch.
Do not sell me out.
What I watch might be dumber than what you watch.
Sell her out.
I watch. First of all, I watch
Porn?
like, yeah, no. I watch like every stupid love reality television show there is out there. And like, I hate, like, they're terrible. I know this, but I watch them because they're terrible.
Yeah.
And so I have watched every single episode of every single season of The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, every spinoff of The Bachelor. That's what I do when I'm stressed,
Yeah.
which is like absolutely worse than Monty Python. So
I
See,
somehow
Monty
got-
Python for me is actually like I like it. I
Oh,
like
yeah.
it, but it's just dumb humor that
right.
like I don't have to think about it. I can just sit here and be like, coconuts. Yes, that is absolutely a horse running through a field. Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Megan,
Um
tell us your deepest, darkest
Oh,
secret.
it's just that I've been bored enough in the last year that I've gotten looped into like weekly remote bachelor night. So like we all watch Bachelor at the same time on Hulu and text each other shitting on all the people. It's really mean. But it's super fun. Yeah, so that's my shame. That's why I said, Paige, don't sell me watching The Bachelor.
See, I do that when I watch the ghost hunting shows sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll watch
Yeah,
them.
that's like definitely a guilty pleasure. It's just like
and
watching.
it's like if I think they do something so incredibly stupid, I get on my phone and send them a message. I find whoever's on the show and write them like, "Hey, I just watched your episode. This is what you did. Why? Why did you do this? I don't understand.
Why are you like this?
Why are you doing this to me? You're coming into my home."
Oh, and we both watch a lot of House Hunters.
Oh yeah, I have probably watched like I have not been feeling well the last week, and I've probably watched like 2 or 3 seasons of House Hunters the last couple of days.
Which is like also very fake. Here's the thing: is we apparently like we like to debunk stuff and everything, but like everything we watch is just like bullshit.
Do you find that to be a problem now? Like for me, sometimes if I'm watching a comic book movie, I can totally just sit there and be like, yes,
Mhm.
I'm all in. But when you watch like a reality show or some kind of like documentary, and I put it in quotes because there's really not many anymore.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself like, nope, that doesn't happen. That doesn't do that. Do you find yourself constantly debunking things that go on?
I think I've always kind of done that. But like I think that's sort of the fun of watching terrible television.
No, isn't it?
Mhm. Yeah, but now like it's changed since we started doing the show because like when we did the episode with you where we talked about like debunking famous hauntings. I don't know what's happening anymore. But I had like several things that I'd seen on Ghost Hunters or whatever, and use.
I'm sorry. That just popped up. I'm like, damn, John. That's a good comment.
Is that like the porn parody of Ghost?
It exists. Absolutely.
It does not.
It has to.
Paige, you have to Google it.
I'll Google it. You guys keep going. I'll Google it.
Okay. I can't. I don't remember what I was saying. I'm gonna cry.
Ever laughed so much on
Well,
this
there
show?
are ass hunter porn videos.
And this show took a turn.
Okay, we're not making Kenny's show rated NC-17.
It's not going to be monetized.
Yeah, all the sponsors are like, no, fuck this guy. I don't know. What was I saying? I have no idea.
Oh my god.
You were talking about how the episode with Kenny changed the way you watched TV, I think.
I have that effect on people.
You were saying, yeah, I don't know. That's all I got.
Oh, yes.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Sorry, you were cutting out for me. I think I'm
Okay.
back.
I think
Yeah,
so.
you're back.
Am I back?
You're back.
Great.
You're back.
Oh,
Yes,
gone again.
ish. I have no idea. What is this laptop doing?
you're
Okay.
back.
You're good for now. Maybe not.
Oh, you're gone again.
Every time we confirm she's good, she freezes up again. Oh no. She looks like she's got a headache.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
we can
there
hear
she is.
you.
I get all right.
I'm
So go ahead.
sorry.
You can keep
My
talking.
computer is making editing this episode a nightmare.
Don't worry, it's all live. We don't have to worry about that. Everyone's watching this in real time and enjoying it and going, wow, her internet sucks. There she is. It's back and forth. All right. Are
Oh,
you back?
I think so.
Okay, I can hear you.
Okay. Oh,
All right.
Yep. I still remember what I was gonna say. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I've like made editing this a nightmare because I have no idea why my laptop is doing this. Okay. What I was gonna say though is like since doing the episode with you with why are you laughing at me?
I've seen the comments.
Oh. And since doing the episode with you though, it was like a lot of things that I thought like, oh, this was really spooky in this specific episode of Ghost Hunters or whatever it was. And then it was like, no, that was made up. Or like I debunked that. And so now it's like I watch everything and I'm like, oh, this is dumb. Like this is definitely all fake. I would say that our other de-stressor though right now is we play a lot of Phasmophobia. So
Yeah. You know, I looked into it because when you sent me a message like asking me if I played and like you should come on and play with us because we can have a group of 4. I'm like, all right, I really don't have time. I play one video game. That's it.
What game
Like
is it?
I play Call of Duty right now.
mhm.
And it's like I don't play multiple games. I have an Xbox, but it's like I only get to play one game at a time. And like for a normal person that plays a game and gets through it within like a week and they're good except for the online stuff, like it takes me months because I don't get all that time to play with it.
Mhm.
But I actually looked it up and I was like, oh, maybe I'd get on this. Oh, they have EMF meters and this is all bullshit fucking ghost hunting equipment. What the fuck am I going to do with this?
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna
it's
be
like
complaining.
but it's like if it all actually worked the way that they say it does.
Right. So I might get on.
Okay.
I might try it.
It's
We've
super
put
fun.
A lot
I
of
do
time
pick
into
up
that
your
game.
when you do like the live streaming when
Yes.
you're playing. I have seen it. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that looks fun. Maybe I'll do it.
Mostly
Maybe.
we just like get the pants scared off of us all the time.
It's a video game.
Yeah. They come in on your headphones like really loud, like they're like
My
in
goodness.
your ears. That's terrifying. We would like definitely be the Ghost Hunters guys who are like, dude, run! Like it's us.
Dude, run. Oh my goodness. All right. So we're getting there. We have about 20 minutes left. We're actually like 10, 15 minutes left. So people have any questions, please get them in now. Because we're going to start winding down. I do want to know, I have two questions here. One, probably easiest one. Have you ever been to a paranormal conference or like consider going to one?
I don't think you've been to one either. I've not been to one, but I think we've talked about it.
Yeah,
I
I'm pretty sure
definitely think it would be awesome.
Yeah, I think I sent one to Paige that was like in Illinois, or that takes place in Illinois, and I was like, we should go. So,
They
so
are
we have like big
definitely-
aspirations to go.
Definitely worth it. It's
Yeah.
definitely worth it. It's. I've been to all three, the big three. I've been to a ghost conference. I've been to a lot of those. I've been to a bunch of UFO conferences. I've been to a few Bigfoot conferences, and it's personal opinion. UFO people are the furthest out there when it comes, like when you walk around and talk to different people. That's the conference where I'm like, these people are fucked up. Don't make any sudden movements. Don't look at anyone directly in the eye. Just listen to their story, nod your head, walk away. But yeah, I mean, ghost hunting conferences are fun. I got to give it up to them. I know a lot of people in that community, and for one, they can drink, which is always fun. The next conference that I'm going to is in I think June. June, and there's already talk about moonshine. There's a supplier that comes in, and we get some moonshine. So definitely can drink, and it's fun to hang out. But it's definitely worth your time, I think, especially because you do this podcast on these themes. To see it like up close and personal, I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I think it would be super fun.
And then
I only went on one. I haven't done that many like paranormal things. Like I've been on a couple ghost tours, but like the one that we went on, which was like come ghost hunt in this haunted old house. One of the guys on it, like it was just ridiculous. It was a group of people, and they were like, download this ghost app and stuff, and it was like, oh, good lord. Yeah, but the guy kept like talking about experiences he had and saying they were very scary.
Did he actually say it like that? That's funny. Very. Oh, we lost her again.
She's gone again.
Oh, damn it, Megan. Popping in and out. So I'll put this question out.
Oh, she's back.
She comes back in. So the last question I have is, after researching all this stuff, after being interested in it and in researching, doing the shows, do either of you believe any of this stuff exists? What
Do you want to?
Oh no!
Oh no!
Totally
She's
lost.
gone.
He's gone altogether. That it's all on you now.
It's all me. And I think I can speak for both of us that everything that we've covered at this point, that we would agree, no, we don't believe it exists. That being said, like one topic that we have talked about, we've done a couple episodes now on aliens and UFOs, and the aliens got
There
her.
she is.
There she is.
She is.
Did you hear the question, Megan?
I didn't hear anything.
Okay.
Literally, it probably is the like fucking new me has like latched itself onto me, and it's like, you're gonna talk shit about me? Like, no.
He asked if we thought any of this stuff exists, and I said I think I can speak for both of us. Like pretty much everything we've covered at this point, I would say that we don't believe exists. Though, like, just I wanted to make the point that like we do both believe, like there's no question in my mind anyway, that aliens do exist. I just like they're not visiting us in UFOs, and they're not abducting people.
I totally agree with that. I've said it. This question has come up a bunch of times on this show where it's like, all right, the question of aliens, do they exist? And yeah, I really have no doubt that somewhere out there, when you consider how vast space is, like we're our galaxy is one of billions just in our part of the universe. And I think it's almost, I don't know what the word is. I think it's silly to think that there is not life out there somewhere.
Right, right.
Will we ever meet up? I'm not so sure in my lifetime.
Right.
I hope so. I really hope so. Just not like what I see in the movies.
Right.
Except for like E.T. That's okay. That'd be okay. But yeah, I mean, other than that, yeah, I agree with you.
I
Megan,
do. Yeah, I know she's gone again. I would like to say, and I think you had said this earlier in this episode, or maybe we had talked about it previously, but there's a lot of this stuff that like I would love to be true. Or like it would be kind of fun if it was real, but no, I think everything we've covered at this point, I feel pretty confidently in saying that like it's not real.
My goodness, John. Consider the powers themselves are actually alien.
I mean, technically, if it's some sort of alien vegetable, like it's got to have germs on it, right? So, like, those are technically little aliens hitchhiking on.
I'm not going to argue with you. Anything to add, Megan? As to like, do you believe, or would you like to believe, or what are your thoughts? What are your beliefs?
Yeah, like I mean, like Paige said, it's like 100%. There's like alien life out there somewhere, but like it's not flying around our atmosphere.
So if there's one topic that you've already covered or are planning on covering that you would like to be true and
they
real.
would like, but like there's certainly things that I'd like to be true. Like I would friggin' love to go to a haunted house and like have a ghost experience. Or yeah.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm gonna look that up after the show.
Or love to
What do they hunt?
They hunt some ass.
It's fine. It's like every time we're guests on a show or we have guests on our show, it's just like turned into a nightmare. Like earlier we talked about whale sex. So it's like, I don't know.
All right. You know what the after show topic is going to be.
Oh yeah, but anyway, like, yeah, I'd love to. Sorry.
Ass hunters really threw her off.
Totally threw her game off.
Yeah, like I'd love to have a ghost experience. I'd love to see a Bigfoot. Like, yeah.
Okay.
I think those
wanna
are the two I would
disappear
also
again.
want to be true.
Yeah. I mean, after
Bigfoot
doing this
and
for
ghosts.
years and years of investigating this kind of stuff, and like I've done pretty much everything in every mystery genre there is, I've looked into and never found anything. I would really like pretty much anything. I'd like to sit down with a ghost. I'd like a ghost to just appear right here and say, "Hey, Kenny, what's up?" I'm like, "Yo,
Right.
dude, what's up? How you doing? Let's talk." Aliens, yeah, hell yeah, that would be great. Bigfoot, Daryl, yes, Daryl, I will certainly meet you and hang out with you a little bit. But yeah. All right, so we're winding down. We got about 10 minutes left. What do you have coming up? Do you have any announcements? What kind of shows? What do you have in the pipeline? Anything? No? Oh no, she dropped out again.
Hello?
Did I lose both of you? Oh no.
Yeah,
I
for
lost
some
both.
reason you're
Oh.
you're freezing on me. I keep getting every other word.
Okay, hold on a second. Megan is back in. Oh no. Everything's going bad. Paige is only getting part of me. Megan, I can't hear you at all.
Do you hear me
Oh.
now?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Great.
Okay. Paige, can you hear me? No. Oh no. Oh no.
Are we
Oh,
surprised
wait,
that we
hold
broke
on.
s-
Can you
wait,
hear me?
there you are. Yes.
Okay, I'm
Yes?
catching up. Yeah, it was everything
Okay.
kind of like came in, but I think I'm here.
All right.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on.
We're gonna wind this down before everything goes to shit.
I'm freaking out. Yeah, what's in the pipeline was the
What's in the
question,
pipeline?
right?
What's coming up? Yeah.
A lot of stuff. We've been even though we release every other week, we've been recording every week, so we're sort of like banking a bunch of episodes, which is fun. So it's been like a lot of research and recording and everything. And then yeah, like I'm super excited. We just recorded an episode with Karen Stoles now and her husband Matt Baxter on ghost hunting and experiences that they've had. So I'm like real pumped about that one because that's one of my favorite topics. And yeah, I don't know. We're gonna do like Wendigos next week, so I'm pretty excited about that. I don't know. What are you excited about, Paige?
Well, I don't know. I'm excited about the episode that we recorded today. I think you just I kind of caught, or you kind of cut out for a second. I think you talked about that. Yeah. Sorry. Also, apparently, whenever you lose connection, Kenny freezes because that's like the second time that's happened. But anyway,
Stop it, Megan.
and I'm also excited. I was very excited about the Amelia Earhart episodes that we did. So the first one just released. And that's funny.
It's only funny because I was like not super excited about it for like no particular reason. But Paige just like texting me repeatedly, like, this is so cool. She was so badass. And I was like, her fucking plane fell in the ocean. Like, whatever.
Oh my.
But we have a second episode coming out, I think next Monday,
Mhm.
that I'm excited about as well. So
Good. Okay. I am going to run through my my announcements and then we will close out the show. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to keep you on screen if that's okay. You can chill out for a little bit and then we can talk a little bit after the show once I run the video and we get out of here. So don't freeze up, Megan, and screw us all up. Your internet controls the show right now. So my announcements coming at the end of the show. Tomorrow, I'm actually heading out to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. So I'll be out there for the weekend if anyone's around. Not that I can really hang out with a lot of people because we're still in the pandemic kind of thing. But we're going to be out there. We're going to be doing some filming out there. March 18th, I'll be on a podcast called Crossroads. And also on that same date, Zack Snyder's Justice League comes out. So all my comic book geeks, yeah, we're going to be sitting down for 4 hours of fucking awesomeness. Hopefully, finally, from DC, because they've been really slacking since the first Wonder Woman movie. March 26th, on this show, I will have Jason Gowan. He's a good friend of mine. He was on a TV show called Extreme Paranormal. Yes, it was a ghost hunting show. And he's actually going to come on and talk about all the behind the scenes stuff that goes on because he's out of date from his NDA and he can actually talk about everything that happened. So he's going to give us a scoop about the bullshit that happens behind the scenes on a television show. I cannot wait for that. Plus, he's a good friend of mine and he's funny. And just lots of fun. April 15th, I'll be on a radio program called Full Spectrum Radio, and we're going to be talking about skepticism and how it applies to ghost hunting. May 15th, I'm not sure where this Skeptic Camp is, but there's a Skeptic Camp online kind of conference kind of thing where I'm going to be doing a presentation. I'm going to do like a half-hour presentation on photography and some of the recent cases that I've done. And then 3 in-person stuff, as long as, you know, everything's okay with COVID restrictions. June 3rd to 5th, I'll be in Gettysburg for Phenomenology. It's a ghost hunting conference. I'm looking forward to it because a lot of people are going to be there, allegedly. And then August 20th, 22nd, I'll be back in Gettysburg for the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash, which benefits Pennsylvania wounded warriors and kids with cancer. So 2 great causes. Can't wait to go out there. Again, I'll have a booth at both of these events. I'll have my actual like physical skeptical help booth set up at the table so I can annoy all of the ghost hunters. So much fun. And then lastly, I'll be attending the Para-Unity conference, which is September 25th. I don't have a booth. I'll just be walking around doing, you know, exactly what I always do, annoy people. So it'll be fun. And that's it. That's all I have. And I just want to thank Megan and Paige. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's been fun. I've never laughed on this show so much as I've done tonight.
We're glad.
Thank you for having us.
It's so much fun. I love both of you ladies. It's so much fun. It's one of those things where we haven't met in person, and we've only actually talked. This is the second time we've actually spoken.
Yeah.
And I feel like I know you. I know both of you. And like we're good friends and we're like, yeah, we can drink together, we can talk, we can bullshit online. It's great.
Yeah. Like 100% though, I was like, someday we're gonna go to Philadelphia and like Kenny's gonna take us to a haunted place.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You let me know when. Because I have a few places that are totally open that I can call them. The good thing about not being a dick when you're a skeptic is that you get along with people.
Yeah.
And like I help people that are in the paranormal community when I can, you know, and we try to work together. So there's plenty of places around here where I can call them up and say, hey, I'd like to come out and check out the place for a little bit. And I can arrange it. So you let me know. And
we get
we'll
to hang out at
together.
that tiki bar, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Which
We'll
also
do
I
a
have
like
not forgotten.
We'll do a ghost hunt and then we'll come back to the bar and drink and laugh about everything we screwed up that night.
Here's such a different thing about the world that we're living in now. We're like, here's this internet stranger that we've talked to twice, but like, let's go wander around an abandoned building with him.
Yeah. Let's just go hang out with them. Yeah. Somewhere dark and no one else is around and we can't call for help and there's no cell phone signal. Sure.
Sounds great.
What could go wrong? Oh my goodness. All right. I'm going to play my my ending video. Everyone have a safe and fun weekend. And most importantly, remember to never stop learning. And I'll see you next week.